Greetings, people of the internet. I'm the Herbalcrackpot, a junkie for all things movies and TV and other shit. I also can't be bothered to pay my electricity bill most months, so forgive the candle. So yeah, most people that watch movies and things, they recently went to see a movie over the summer called Man of Steel. I thought I'd talk about it, and here is me of talking about it and things. Let's talk about it. Quite why Warner Brothers would release a feature-length documentary made by the History Channel about communist leader Joseph Stalin called Man of Steel in cinemas and put out posters and advertising making out it's a movie about the silly costumed hero that punches bad guys. Why they would put it out and put up this facade is beyond me, and why it's had so much critical praise and reviews printing indication it's about something called a Superman and a General Zod are yet more questions in a long list of things that Herbalcrackpot just doesn't understand. But since everyone seems to be enthralled by it, and people on the internet can't stop discussing it, on with Warner Brothers' big smash hit summer blockbuster, Joseph Stalin, Man of Steel. Stalin was born on the 18th of December 1878, and he grew his famous moustache in the summer of 1894 because moustaches were fashionable at the moment. And he was a funky Stalin. Yes, he was. The movie starts out telling of Stalin's humble beginnings as a peasant lad in Tsarist Russia, where basically these rich people were rich and these poor people were poor.
The goal of revolutionaries throughout Russia, including Stalin, was their overthrow.
In other news, blue is a primary colour. So Lenin makes a speech, but we can't hear what he's saying for some reason, and he also looks very grainy and is in black and white, which is very poor on the part of the director. Hang on a second. Wow, there were 5 of them. You should all be very ashamed of yourselves. And then this man appears. Apparently his name is Jonathan Brent, and he's a historian. He's a nice man, and he points his finger at us. He looks like he's trying to pick the cameraman's nose.
And eventually he got into Lenin's inner circle, and Lenin depended on him.
Oh yeah, penetrate that inner circle, Stalin, you dirty whore. Sorry, I'm usually a little bit more highbrow than this.
He is tough and effective, and rises swiftly through party ranks.
And to celebrate the occasion, he was given a silly-looking hat. Wait a sec, silly-looking hat. Silly-looking hat. Joseph Stalin, silly-looking hat. Shit, think of a clever joke, Stuart. Think of a clever joke. Think of a clever joke. And so Stalin pulled a bunny out of the hat, and then a thing happened. What was I thinking about again? Anyway, then this other historian called David Brandenberger appears. I think he might be the love interest, and a subplot will be him and Jonathan Brent getting together in the end. By the way, yes, all footage used here is covered under fair use, and it's a legitimate review and theory of what could happen by the end of the movie. Fair use! Anyway, Lenin died of being black and white and not being able to talk. There was probably another reason, but given they skip over how he died and I can't be asked to look it up, I'm going to go with that one.
Stalin hoped Lenin will rub off on him.
And the tragic loss of his love from his idyllic days of youthful revolution, Stalin would rise and take his vengeance on the world that took his loved one away from him. Anyway, then this lady appears, and she has 2 voices.
Stalin or Trotsky? The majority were afraid of Trotsky and his extremely radical ideas.
Dude, I fucking must be tripping. Why does that lady have 2 voices? Is this like a science fiction movie or something? Fuck me! We got sci-fi, we got romance, we got documentary about Stalin, we've got superhero movie, apparently. This movie has done so much and we're only 4 fucking minutes in.
Stalin is forging his brutal style of governing.
And what he did was enforce serious rules on how long your beard should be. And then we have another man with 2 voices who the movie claims to be Stalin's grandson, who says some things while people burn books and people are hanging pictures of Stalin up in their homes and throwing bells out of windows and exploding churches. Oh my god. I totally see why people say that the action in this movie rules. It's fucking amazing.
They chopped off the heads of the priests and left their bodies to freeze in the ice.
Is there nothing this movie won't do?
And the cute little puppy licked an ice cream and Stalin played a Nintendo GameCube all day long.
I'm in heaven. You are awesome, Stalin.
The dictator orders all agriculture to be collectivized at any cost.
What it meant was taking the land, the possessions of every farmer, every peasant, and robbing them of their land, and putting them all together on communal lands, and saying, you don't own these cows, you don't own that wheat, you don't own this plow, you don't own these things. It isn't yours. None of it, any longer, is yours.
Basically, Stalin freed the cows from repression, inspiring the movie Chicken Run.
When Stalin took over in Russia in the late 20s, the Soviet Union, the country as a whole, was still only about 20 to 25% urban. It was a largely agrarian country, and that's why the forced collectivization of agriculture was so important, because you were dealing with a country that was predominantly peasant.
Okay, I didn't understand a word he just said, but I admire the man's jacket.
A wave of violence sweeps the country. The secret police are ordered to search peasants' homes and confiscate all personal property.
And the visuals to accompany this scene will be sheep and tractors. Yes, they will. And so, Stalin stretched him on the rack and cut his intestines out and smeared them all over his face and laughed, "Hardy, hardy, ha ha ha, whose intestines are rubbed all over my face now?" Anyway, then there's more people with two voices talking about really messed up things that happened. You were a dick, Stalin. Oh my god, really? I won? I won the biggest understatement of the year award! Yes! And Herbalcrackpot proclaimed, you were a dick, Stalin. And then there's a pretty horsey, and oh my god, starving, dying children. No, starving, dying children. Ah, pretty horsey. Anyway, so Stalin gets married after his first wife died of plot hole disease, and we get the story of his wife.
And while they have two children, Vasily and Svetlana, Nadezhda sees very little of her husband. This is one of only two pictures that exist of the couple in 15 years of marriage.
So, yeah, she was just the Oscar bait, so no need to worry about her. Then this man that looks like Mick Hucknall starts saying stuff. And Stalin starts getting paranoid and starts killing off his enemies. And to be honest, that's pretty much the rest of the movie. And the movie ends with Stalin getting annoyed by people drawing rude cartoons about him and calling him a smelly head behind his back. And he sends them off to prison. He then dies of a stroke. Okay, that was a bit of an anticlimax.
Which was caused by an alien brain slug.
I've seen it before.
That was riding a dragon.
Awesome! Go alien brain slug Stalin killer! And people cry, and they cry, and then he turns into a gold statue. So, basically, Man of Steel was awesome. I can't believe how much I recommend this movie. It was horrifying, emotionally involving, a multi-genre epic of true-life horror from history that literally does everything you expect of a movie, seemingly all at once. And I cannot recommend it enough. You need to see Stalin Man of Steel. I totally see why Warner Brothers would put this out in cinemas, and it gets an out-of-context 5 stars. You need to see this movie. Anyway, I'm the Herbalcrackpot, and I'm creepy and take drugs and sit in the dark with a candle. Bye-bye.